Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44. So, there's something on my mind that I got to make a video about. And, you know, I've been on a mission personally to kind of look inward, see what I can do to change myself, and kind of look around, see certain things that I appreciate, don't appreciate, and all that. Just coming to my own little awakening in some ways. And one of the things that I'm starting to really pay attention to is several things coming together that make me look at things a certain way. Uh, Snowfall is a great show that's on television right now. It's been on television for a couple years. Fantastic show, and it speaks to the reason that crack ended up in various hoods around our country. Um, it speaks to the how that process came about. It gave us context to different sides and what people were thinking, hypothetically, of course, and in certain situations. But it also gave us an understanding as to what the motive was behind putting that stuff into our neighborhoods. And I say our with respect to people who have lived much harsher lives and lived these neighborhoods much longer than I have. Uh, but it is what it is, man. They're targeting us. It's a targeting situation. And I look back at Roots and I think about how those things went down and just the context upon what was trying to be accomplished in all of that madness and torture. And now I'm looking at something and it's like, man, it's like, whoa, okay, this feels like something that we need to be concerned with. This feels like yet another situation, a wave of attack. This is what feels like that. Now, let me give you some context of what I'm talking about here. I just got through watching a new music video. Um, Songs called "Who I Smoke" by four gentlemen. One of them Spragga Benz, a few other guys. I'm not certain their names, to be honest with you. I just discovered the song. 1,000 miles. I don't know the name of the song that was sampled, but I miss you. If I could fly 1,000 miles just to see you, you know the song. That song was sampled, and it's an extremely popular song from the 80s, man, or 90s, I think. It wasn't from my African American culture, and it was a super pop song. So I'd imagine the sample was extremely expensive to get, right, to use, to clear. Now I look at the song and I see that the views is doing great. The video, rather, the videos just came out about 3 weeks ago, and it's hitting all kinds of numbers. I think most of that is due to the fact that the sample is crazy and what these kids are talking about, which I'll get into right now. And it's a really well put together song. The song's crazy. Like, you listen to it, you nod in your head. It's like the sample is nuts. You sitting there laughing because you can't believe they're talking about what they're talking about while listening to that type of music, and made it come together so good. So the art form itself, awesome. Loved it. It was great. The video, high budget video. You could tell that there was a lot of investment money poured into this as well. And that's where my problem comes from. This is why I made this video. So you're trying to tell me that, now mind you, I got to give you the understanding of what the song is about. The song is basically a song about these kids talking about who they smoked. The song's called "Who I Smoked." It's about who they shot. They got situations, and they are giving you what they want you to know. Now, I personally have no understanding of whether or not they're talking about real people, but listening to the commentary, people who are discussing the song are saying that these guys are discussing actual crimes, circumstances, what have you. And they are naming names. Now, I have not done my homework to know if these are real names, but that part is irrelevant to my point of view, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because you don't want to say someone passing away is irrelevant in any way, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So they're pouring their investment money into this. If these kids are naming real names of people they actually took off the earth, obviously they can get indicted and thrown in jail, given the death penalty, etc., etc. Here is where I'm upset. So I look and I say, I don't believe those four men cleared that sample themselves. I don't think that's the type of move you can do independent. Now, they could very well be independent. They could very well take their money and clear the sample and go through all that. But you need help doing that. Clearing a sample like that, you're going to need some help. 4 22-year-old kids from the hood are not going to be able to walk into someone's office and say, yo, give me that song. and this is what we're going to do with it. Like, no, you need to have someone behind you. You need to have an entire investment firm behind you to help clear that sample, to help pour money into that video, to make sure that it looks as high as it does, to make sure that the marketing of it is in such a way that it exposes itself to everybody. Now you got all the big name bloggers talking about the song, etc., etc. A lot of that has to do with the hype, not to take away from what the song is doing naturally, but it's being promoted like crazy. Why is it being promoted like crazy, bro? And then I look back at Snowfall and I look at the truth about what happened with the crack epidemic. Well, on one hand, you got people saying, oh my God, these people are killing each other by selling each other drugs. And on the other hand, you got some of those same people taking all of their money and pouring it into those drugs so that those drugs can go back into your communities. On one hand, they're pushing the promotion of your doom. And then on the other hand, they are blaming you for what is happening to you. Here we go again with the same type of bullshit. Now they sit up here and they screaming at black on black crime. We want to kill each other. These people's lives don't matter because they continue to kill each other and have no regard for life. And then on the other hand, one of the biggest selling songs in the world at this very moment is a song about 4 black males promoting the very murders that they claim to have done. It's one of the biggest songs in the country, but one of the most impossible samples to clear. What? Now I know drill is a big deal. I know stick music, as they say, is a big deal. It's a culture, but it's been promoted. By whom? Why? Because that's what black people are doing. This is what the people want. No, the people want whatever you promote to us. We want whatever you market to us. That's what I've learned. People want to know what comes before, what comes first, the chicken or the egg. In a sense of what the public wants, it most definitely is promotion. If I can market something to you, I can make you want it, I can make you need it, I can make you follow and say what it is. If I can put people in front of you that you think are cool, regardless of what your criteria is for cool, if I can figure out that formula and I can give it to you, you will give me your money and your attention and you will follow what it is that those people are telling you to do. Now, the context is what's missing. See, the thing about that type of lifestyle is context is missing. We don't have the traumas of losing friends and family in the streets repeatedly, and to have some of the perspectives of that and the feelings that come with that and the context and why they're out there, what happened for so long over time that made them the way they are, and something else brought that perspective to me. I was listening to academics talk about NBA Youngboy's perspective on certain things and how he had written a letter explaining his position from jail and how he felt at that moment. And what NBA Youngboy was essentially expressing to us through ACT in a conversation that ACT had referred to was this, and I'm paraphrasing. NBA Youngboy couldn't be upset at people, particularly Wendy Williams. For some reason, he had put Wendy Williams in his letter. He had mentioned her, and he said he's never going to be upset at someone like that because they haven't been through what he's been through. They haven't seen the things that he's seen. They haven't experienced the traumas that he's been through, so they don't have the context and perspective to properly assess his position, why he does what it is that he does, what put him in a position to be the person that he is, and why the darkness that he lives with is so traumatic for him to go through. He can't be mad at you because you don't even know the first thing about the first thing to put yourself in a position to see it clearly. Same here as it pertains to Young and Ace, Spagga Benz, and their circumstances for why they feel the way they feel and make the song they made. We don't have that context. We don't know what they know or felt what they felt to put them in that position of that space. But we're being lumped in with them when the finger's being pointed at us, when we start talking about how we want someone who's totally different, even though has a skin color of ours and had something bad happen to them, to be given justice. We want justice for those people. We want them to be okay. When that happens, you know what the number one retort of our enemy always is? That you kill yourselves, that you're a black on black crime, that you are trying to annihilate yourself, so it literally does not matter if we annihilate a few of you. But then we look at the investment money that's being poured into the things that we are focused on, and it's this, without context. Only the promotion and the glorification of the result of the pain that those men have endured that'll make them make such a dark song like this. See, the kids think it's cool. Those outside, they're about to die because of this. Those who are involved in that, they know that at any given moment, the consequences of such things could come their way. The kids who are singing these songs don't know that. The people who are paying attention to this stuff, who are having the seed put in their head about who I am, when I'm not even involved in that type of lifestyle or have the context to even defend those gentlemen properly. But I get lumped in there if something happens to me because they're going to say, well, these black people kill each other. So it's no reason for me to say, yo, Brandon deserves justice. Brandon ain't never been outside to kill no black person or even knows what the hell's going on with those circumstances that those people are out there with. But I know for a fact that I don't. So for me to be impressed by that is foreign. You would need to get through to me in order for me to glorify something that I have nothing to do with, that I can't relate to. And that's exactly what this investment money and this marketing has done. It has made it so that people are not only glorifying violence, but they believe that all who look like the people who are involved in that violence understand that violence, partake in that violence, and should be vilified as accordingly. That's a game. That's forked tonguing. You know, they say white men speak with forked tongue. That's forked tonguing, y'all. That's what that is. On one side of the fence, you're saying one thing. On the other side of the fence, you are funneling your money into the very circumstances that destroy the people that you are vilifying for destroying themselves. I'm not mad at the kids who made the song. They're involved in that, and they're ready for the consequences of it, or at least they think they are. They're going to face them either way. It's the rest of us. They done found a way to make a life for themselves and get out of that shit. This is not a bad thing. This is not time to vilify them. They found a way in this messed up world. Obviously, the world ain't been that great to them. That's why they're making songs like this. Congratulations to those men. I hope they change their lives forever because of this. But understand, you are being promoted for a reason. And it ain't because you're the coolest people in the world. It's not because you're the greatest promoters. It's not because you are the first people to say what it is that you're saying. It's just a continuation of a movement of forked tonguing. It's the people behind y'all. It's the investment companies. It's the record companies. It's the people behind them who tell them what to pour their money into with the agenda of destroying me. We need to start waking up and understanding that and not getting mad at the wrong people either. Don't get mad at the wrong people. Don't get mad at Young and Ace. Nah, don't get mad at Ak. No. Start looking at who's pouring money into these people. Start looking at who's saying, okay, you can clear that sample for that message. Start looking at the people who are saying, okay, well, let's make sure that video gets a little more money than the other video because that's what they want. No. Don't let them lie to you. That's not what you want. They're telling you what to want. My name is BDF44, and that was on my heart. I had to say that. And I rest in peace to anybody they're talking about. Rest in peace to the people that they lost that would bring them to that space to make a song like that. Because you know that's what makes a person that cold. That's what makes a person want to go that far. And it's their pain is being exploited. Their pain is being exploited. In their youth and in their vigor and in their positioning, they don't realize it. But gentlemen, that's exactly what it is. And that's what it's always been. Not just for these guys, but for everybody who's been involved in drill. Everybody who's been involved in some of the gang culture of the past. Like I said, this is a continuation. This is not the first. They've been doing this shit to us forever. And it's just time that we start waking up to it and addressing it properly. I am not upset at anybody who's making this shit because I don't understand y'all and I'm not supposed to. But I do understand who's behind you. My question is, do you understand them? When you take that bag and you sell your soul, do you understand that it's not just your soul you're selling? That's all I'm asking. My name is BDF44. I'm out.